Hey, what's up everyone? James from Junkyard Fox. Thank you so much for joining me. And today we're taking a look at this flashlight right here. This is the Thrunite TC20 V2 flashlight. Now this is a great light for a bug out bag, a vehicle emergency kit, something like that. Now we're gonna keep this review short and sweet. One, because it's a flashlight review, and two, we are racing a storm. A storm just snuck up on us, so we're gonna try to make this fast. So thank you for joining us. Let's get started. Okay, so let's talk about the specs really briefly. Now the dimensions are 119 millimeters by 42 millimeters by 33.5 millimeters. I did measure this about 2 months ago when I first got the light. If I remember correctly, it was a little bit over 4 inches long. I want to say like 4.2, 4.3. And then it was a little higher back here, over an inch, about just like 1.2, and then over here it was about 1.5 inches where the bezel is. Now the weight is 143 grams. That is with the battery excluded, which to me is pointless. I don't know why they don't just give you the weight with the battery. So that I really wouldn't know, folks. I'll have to annotate it down below, but it is hefty. I'm not gonna lie to you, it is a pretty hefty flashlight. It has an orange peel type reflector. You can tell right there the little texture. It is USB-C rechargeable, just like just like a lot of the stuff is, basic Thrunite offerings. Sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed. There you go. And of course, it does have a little light here that shows you, the battery level indicator. It'll shine blue when it's 20 to 100%, and then it'll shine red when it's lower. And it'll start blinking when it's like really low on juice. Now when you purchase it, it does come with the USB-C charging cord. It does come with spare O-rings, a spare rubber cover for the charging part. It does come with this really cool lanyard right here, and this nylon sheath. So a little nylon pouch for the light. Now I don't think it's the sturdiest or the nicest sheaths, to be honest, but I am glad that it comes with it, because let's face it, this thing is a little heavy, a little bulky. I don't see anyone carrying this in their pocket, to be honest. So this is a welcome addition right here. Now, in case you see yourself using this pretty often, say you're in the military or a security guard, something like that, I do think in time you're probably going to want to replace the sheath with something more sturdy. But for now, I'm glad that they offer it. Basic flashlight nylon sheath. Now this light has 6 different modes. Obviously we're going to wait till the sun sets so we can show them in action. In the meantime, let's go ahead and do a little bit of some size comparisons. So I wasn't lying when I was saying that this thing is a little cumbersome. It is hefty. So let's compare it to my number one flashlight ever, my favorite flashlight ever, which is the Thrunite T1. As you can see, this one is much smaller, much more convenient to carry in the pocket of your jeans, and we do have a review on this one if you want to check it out. I love it. As you can imagine, once again, it's going to be much easier to carry, but this one is almost 4 times as strong. So if you're going to be camping for an extended period of time, or maybe some kind of military exercise, something like that, you're going to want to have the stronger light. And then right in the Goldilocks zone, we have the Thrunite TH10 V2. We also have a review on this light as well. And this one, like I said, it's the Goldilocks zone. It's going to be stronger, more substantial than my EDC light, but it's not as hefty or as bulky as the Thrunite TC20 V2. So, I like this trio right here. They complement each other, in different areas. This one, everyday carry. This one goes in my haversack, so something a little stronger when I'm out on an overnighter or something like that, a hike. And then of course this thing's gonna be just much stronger than both of them. So this one would go in your backpack, whether you're out in a camping trip or for a bug out bag, an emergency kit in your vehicle, something along those lines. Once again, some kind of military exercise, or if you're like in the police department, something like that, this one's gonna be the stronger one. Okay, so it's not quite nighttime yet, but it's already dark enough to show this thing in action. Hopefully the microphone isn't too affected. We just have really strong winds. This storm is just hovering above us, and it's neither raining or anything. So we're just gonna have to work as is. So let's go ahead and get started with the light. Now this light has 6 different modes. Let's start with the lightest. Hold the button down once, and you're gonna get firefly mode. A very subtle light that's useful for reading maps, reading books, reading notes, that kind of stuff. Looking through your glove compartment or inside your haversack. Once again, it's just meant to be something close up. If I remove this, you can't really see it. Let's see if you can get my boot. It doesn't really come up on camera. It's very subtle. So it's mainly, once again, reading some kind of note or something. Not sure which gear reviewer recently mentioned that nobody uses firefly mode. I disagree. I use it quite often. When I'm reading something in the middle of the night. A lot of times I'll take a book when I'm camping. Or recently that I started doing stealth camping in the city or in places like that where I don't want to draw attention to myself. I use the firefly mode a lot because it helps me illuminate my immediate vicinity without advertising my presence from afar, as say if I was using something like a turbo mode or something. So recently in an abandoned farmhouse, I used it when I had to go outside occasionally. So I really like firefly mode. Now if you look at the notes here, firefly mode is 0.3 lumens and will last you 71 days. So it's not the most ideal for a flashlight, but for something close up it's gonna do just fine. Okay, now hold it down and we're gonna move to low. Now low is 35 lumens and will last you 77 hours. Now this one is getting pretty decent. I mean, 35 lumens is not ideal, if this was your only light, but, if you're exploring inside a building, for example, looking in a closet or a shed, this will illuminate enough with, light bouncing from walls and stuff like that. So, as I've mentioned a million times, the flashlight looks more impressive to the human eye than it does through the camera for some reason. So it does illuminate a good amount, right in front of me, a good 40 feet in front of me. It has a good flood. So I can see okay if this is the only light I had. Hold it down one more time to get to medium. And medium is 320 lumens and will last you 9 hours. 320 lumens is pretty damn good. I mean, this thing is spreading up about, I want to say past 100 feet at this point. Let me see, there was a cat over here. I wonder, over there by the trash can. I wonder if you can see him, because I can see him right now. Not quite coming through on the camera yet, but I could see him. I could see his little eyes reflecting on us. All right, let's go ahead and hold it down so we can get to high. And high is 1,853 lumens and will last you 122 minutes. This thing is very impressive. Let's see if we can illuminate that cat now. Not sure if you can see. There's a trash can, and right behind, he hid behind the trash can. So, really bright. We can see a lot. I mean, this thing is damn impressive. Alright, let's turn it over here. There's like this, a training facility for firefighters, if I'm correct. And you can illuminate a good amount. There's a tower off over there in the distance. Alright, now we're going to double click it to get to turbo. There you go. You can see the tower. And turbo is 4,068 lumens, and that will last you 220 seconds. After that, it will drop down to 1,722 lumens and last you 90 minutes. This max distance is 299 meters. So, very impressive. Very impressive. Let's still trying to find that damn cat. He probably took off now. Now we got to be careful because there's fishermen out here. We don't want to, disturb them. But really awesome. Once again, let's illuminate this creepy training facility at night. Okay, and now my hand's starting to warm up on this thing. Let's get the top of these trees. All right, let's drop it down. It's getting pretty warm. All right, and the last mode is strobe. Now, to strobe mode, you gotta turn on the light, double click to get to turbo, and then double click turbo so you can get the strobe mode. Now, strobe mode is 1,475 lumens and will last you 211 minutes. And then just click it to move back to the other modes. Hold it down. I found this guy. So let's firefly mode. See if we can see him. No, you can't. Oh, sorry, buddy. Let's bring it low. Look at this handsome fool. What's up, buddy? So this little buddy's gonna be our model here. We're gonna follow him as if we're tracking down some prey. All right, let's move it higher. Whoop. And then turbo. Gonna blind my buddy just for a second. Oh, lightning's off in the distance. And then once again, when you have double click to turbo, double click again, and we have the strobe. Look at this beautiful night. Delightfully creepy. Okay, folks, so final thoughts on the Thrunite TC20 V2 flashlight. First things first, full disclosure, Thrunite did send this flashlight to me. And second, this is on the shorter spectrum of where I'm comfortable reviewing an item. I've only been testing this flashlight for 2 months. That's a little bit short for me. Normally, you know, in a perfect world, I would like to test something out for 5 months, 6 months, or even longer if possible. But Thrunite did request for me to kind of hurry this one along, so I was happy to oblige. I have been carrying it every day since I got it in my haversack. So I am pretty comfortable with how I feel about it. Now, just when I work with anybody, when we're exchanging emails, I'm always quick to mention that I will test the product, but I will be fair and I will be honest. If there are some shortcomings, some flaws that I really, that really bug me or they're annoying or something like that. In fact, if you've been watching the last 2 or 3 Thrunite reviews, I've been pretty critical. And they're not bad items by any means, but there's a couple of shortcuts, a couple little, I feel like they're so in a hurry to crank out new models out the factory that they're making rookie mistakes that bug me. Now, with this light, I'm happy to say that I don't really see any of these mistakes. There's a couple of nitpicks, but they could honestly just be personal preference things. So one thing I've just been badgering Thrunite about in the last couple reviews is their buttons. I don't like these little cheap plastic buttons. I feel they're very easy to click. So you're off backpacking, hiking, something like that. This is banging around in your backpack. It hits something and it can turn on, and whenever you need it later on, it's going to be short on juice or completely out of juice. I don't like that. In a perfect world, I wish they would go back to using rubber buttons that are just a little bit harder to press. So that's just me. They've been doing this plastic thing for a while. I don't really like that. One thing that they could have done with this light is given it some kind of lockout mode, just so it, so you can make sure that that thing's not turning on when you're traveling. Another nitpick is it is bordering on being a little too heavy, a little too hefty for my taste. Now, I have a flashlight like this in my pocket, and then since I'm a haversack guy, like I showed earlier, I do have something a little stronger, a little bit more substantial than my EDC light, but look at the difference. I mean, this thing is a little hefty. I don't see myself personally rocking this much longer in my haversack after reviewing. I'll move it to my truck, to the middle console of my truck, or, if I'm going to go camping for 3-4 days, an extended stay in the woods, I will be taking this in my Hidden Woodsman pack. But I don't see this, being EDC'd in my pocket at all, or even carried in my haversack, because it is quite hefty. So it's going to be moved to a backpack, or like I said earlier, a bug out bag, vehicle emergency kit, get home bag. I could definitely see this, being a welcome addition there. And that's about it, honestly. I really do like this light. Once again, just a little hefty, so I don't see myself every day carrying this thing. But once again, it also depends on your style, on your tastes, and also on your profession. I could definitely see this being used, carried on the pouch on your belt if you're like, say, a security guard, a police officer, Coast Guard, military, something along those lines. Definitely could see that this is a great addition for your pack. That's about it for me, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're so inclined to purchase one of these bad boys, I'll have the link down below to our Amazon store where you can purchase it. It throws a couple of cents our way so we can keep getting out here, having adventures, and testing out cool gear. And that's about it for us, folks. Go ahead and give us a like if you enjoyed this video, and comment down below if you have any questions, comments, suggestions. And we'll see you guys next week with another video. Now go outside and get your boots dirty.